Welcome back to Bahamian Mathematics. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share to see more videos just like this one. In today's video, we will be solving simultaneous equations using the elimination method. We will make the coefficient of either x or y equal in order to eliminate it. Let's take a look at how that works. First, let's look at a linear equation. We're used to an equation like x plus 6 equals 10 to solve, and what we will do is we will write it again, and we will subtract 6 from both sides in order to eliminate the 6's on the left to leave us with x is equal to 4. And so in this equation, the solution is x is equal to 4. This is when the equation has one unknown. The unknown in this equation is x. What happens when we have two unknowns in an equation? How can we solve it? Like x plus y equals 10. How do we know what x is and what y is? We could use the method like we did above, and we can subtract y from both sides to eliminate y. And this will give us x on the left, but on the right hand side we have 10 minus y. We still don't have a solution yet. When there are two unknowns, we can't solve x and y like this. So let's build an equation. Let's assume that x equals 4 and y equals 1. If we had the equation 2x plus y using the values above, we can say that if x is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 gives us 9. And if we try to find the value of x plus y, we can say 4 plus 1 gives us 5. If we know the values already, we can find the solution. But what if we don't have the value of x or y? How do we find the solution? Well, we need two equations. And so if we had 2x plus y equals 9 and x plus y equals 5, we can go through a process to find x and y. We have to look first at the coefficients of the x's and the y's because they need to be the same in order for us to proceed using the process of elimination. In the two equations above, even though x does not have a number in the front of it, we know that there is an imaginary 1. And so we can see that the coefficients of x are 2 and 1. They are not the same, but the coefficients of y are 1 and 1. They are the same. And so we will be using the y's in the process of elimination to find the value of x and y. Let's call the first equation equation 1. And the second equation we'll label as equation 2. We will need to reference these as we go on. The coefficients, as we said, must be the same in order for us to eliminate them. And here are the steps. Step 1 says we look to see if the coefficients of x or y are the same. And step 2, if the coefficients are the same, this is the variable we will eliminate first. And so we see again the x's have coefficients of 2 and 1, but the y's have coefficients of 1. And this is the variable we will begin with first. And if the signs are the same in front of the coefficient, we will subtract. If the signs are different, we will add. And so let's look at the signs. The y's both have plus signs in front of them. They are the same. And so we will subtract. Y take away y leaves us with nothing. And because we subtracted the y's, we have to subtract every other part of the equation. And so 2x minus x gives us x. And 9 take away 5 gives us 4. We've applied the same subtraction throughout the equations. And so x is equal to 4. We have found one of our values now by eliminating y. We have found the value of x. X is equal to 4. And so we place x equals 4 on the top, and now we have to find y. So we use this fact that we know x is 4, and we put that in equation 1 or equation 2 to solve for y. So let's write the equations again. Here's equation 1 and equation 2. And we use one of them, and it looks like it's easier to use equation 2. It looks more simple. So we're going to rewrite equation 2. X plus y equals 5. Well, we already know x is 4. And so we substitute that in this equation. X is 4 plus y is equal to 5. Now this looks like the linear equation we're used to. And so all we have to do is subtract 4 from both sides. That will eliminate the 4's on the left to give us y is equal to 1. And so now we've found the y value x equals 4, and now y equals 1. So we write our solutions finally. X equals 4 and y equals 1. But let's check just to be sure. Let's use equation 1 again and substitute the values of x and y to be sure that we come up with the answer of 9. And so we replace x with 4, plus we replace y with 1. We know 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and that is what it is supposed to be. It comes out to the answer above, so we know we are correct. But what happens when the signs are different? Let's see an example with that. If we have equations 2x minus y equals 2 and x plus y equals 7, we follow the same process. We look to see if the coefficients of x or y are the same, and if they are the same, this is the variable we eliminate first. So we look at both. The x's contain a 2 and a 1. They are not the same. And the y's contain 1 and 1. I don't see any numbers, but I know that there is a 1 in front of each. And so those are the same. And so we will eliminate the y's. And if the signs are the same, we're going to subtract. If the signs are different, we're going to add. Take note that the words same and subtract start with the same letter. And that can help you to remember to subtract. Here is equation 1 and equation 2. We look at the signs in front of the y's. One is a minus and one is a plus. They are different, and so we are going to add them together. And so if we have a minus y and a plus y, those cancel out to 0. We do the same addition to the x's. 2x plus x is 3x, and we do the same to the numbers. 2 plus 7 is 9. And so now we have 3x equals 9, and x equals 9 divided by 3, which gives us x equals 3. So we eliminated the y's to find out what the x value is. And so x is equal to 3. Now we have to use that to find what y is. So here are the equations again. We know x is 3. And now we put x is 3 in equation 1 or 2 in order to solve for y. And again, here is equation 1 and 2. And it seems like equation 2 is easier to use, so we will use that one, but you can use any. And so we replace x equals 3 for x, and we put that in place, plus y equals 7. And now we subtract 3 from both sides. This leaves us with y on the left is equal to 7 take away 3 is 4. So now we've discovered y equals 4, and we knew x is equal to 3. And so the solutions when we write them are x equals 3 and y equals 4. And again, let's test that out with equation 1 just to be sure that we come out with an answer of 2. And so we replace x with 3 and y with 4 to see if we get the answer of 2. And so 2 times 3, take away, y is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, take away 4 is 2. And that is the answer above. You may be thinking, how do you remember whether to add or subtract when the coefficients are the same? Well, here's one way that you may be able to learn to remember. We are trying to eliminate, which means we are trying to get to 0. And so we have to figure out, how do we do that? If we have plus 4 and plus 4, how do we get to 0 with a plus 4 and a plus 4 by using addition or subtraction? If we said 4 plus 4, would that give us 0? If we said 4 minus 4, would that give us 0? We know that plus 4 minus a plus 4 gives us 0, and so when the signs are the same, we use subtraction to give us 0. What about if you had a minus 4 and a plus 4? How do we use minus 4 and plus 4 with addition or subtraction to get the answer of 0? If I had minus 4 and I subtracted 4, I would not end up with 0. But if I had minus 4 and I added a plus 4, I will end up with 0. And so we add when the signs are different. What would happen if we use the equation x plus 6 equals 10, and we know the solution is x equals 4? What would happen if we multiplied this entire equation by 2? Would we still come up with an answer that x equals 4, or would the answer also be doubled? Let's check. If we multiplied x by 2, we would get 2x. If we multiplied plus 6 by 2, we would get plus 12. And if we multiplied 10 by 2, we get 20. Now let's try to solve this for x. We can see that we have to subtract 12 from both sides, and that will leave us with 2x on the left equals 20 take away 12 is 8 on the right. And to eliminate the 2, we divide both sides by 2, which gives us 8 divided by 2, and x is equal to 4. And we've come up with the same answer as we did above. X is equal to 4. So no matter if we multiply an entire equation by a whole number, the solution is the same. So when coefficients are different, so we look to see if the coefficients of x or y are the same. And if neither are the same, we must multiply one of the equations by a whole number to create a new equation. So let's take a look. 2x plus 3y equals 16, that's equation 1. And x minus y equals 3, that's equation 2. If I look at the coefficients, I can see 2 and 1 in front of the x's, and 3 and 1 in front of the y's. Neither of them are the same number. And so we must multiply one of the equations by a whole number to create a new equation so that the coefficients are the same. And let's see what happens if we multiply this equation by 2. What would we get? Well, 2 by x is 2x, 2 by y is 2y, and 2 by 3 is 6. In this case, we can see that the coefficients now in front of the x's are 2's. What would happen if we multiplied this by 3 instead? Well, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times y is 3y, and 3 times 3 is 9. And we can see that the coefficients in front of the y's are now 3, and they are the same. And so we can do either one of those to give us the equation that we want. We are going to use multiplying by 2. And so the first equation remains the same. The second equation, we're going to multiply by 2. So 2 by x is 2x, minus 2 times y is 2y, equals 2 times 3 is 6. This now becomes equation 3. And we can see that the coefficients in front of the x's are 2's. They are the same. And now we can use the rest of the steps to figure it out. So here are the equations again. And we follow the same rule. If the signs are the same, then you subtract. If the signs are different, you have to add. And so we look at the sign in front of the 2's. I don't see any sign, and so we know that they are both positive, which means they are the same. And when the signs are the same, we have to subtract. And so 2x take away 2x leaves us with 0. And because we subtracted that, we have to subtract everything else in the equation. 3y take away a minus 2y. It's not y. Be very careful when you have a minus sign that you're trying to subtract. Let's look at it. If we had 3 and we tried to take away a minus 2, we know that a minus times a minus is a plus. And so this really is 3 plus 2, which is 5. And so 3y take away a minus 2y is 5y. And we subtract 16 take away 6, that gives us 10. And so now we have 5y equals 10. And if we divide both sides by 5, we get y equals 10 divided by 5, and y equals 2. So we've discovered our value of y equals 2. We will use that in equation 1 or 2 now to solve for y. So here's equation 1 and 2. Again, let's use equation 2 because it's simple. And we replace y with 2 in this equation. I don't know what x is yet, so I'll write it again. Minus 2 equals 3. In order to leave x by itself on the left, we have to add 2 to both sides. When we do this, we're left with x on the left is equal to 5. And so now we know x is 5 and y is 2, and we write our solutions. X is equal to 5, y is equal to 2. And just to be sure, let's check one more time. 2 multiplied by x is 5, plus 3 multiplied by y is 2. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 times 2 is 6. 10 plus 6 gives us 16, which is our answer. And now it's quiz time. Which variables can be eliminated easily? X or Y? You have 5 seconds. Time's up. The answer is the X's. We can see that the coefficients in front of the X's are 5s. They are the same, and they are easily eliminated. Question 2. Which variables can be eliminated easily, X or Y? Time's up. We can see the answer is Y. The coefficients in front of Y are both 8, and they can be eliminated easily. Question 3. Which variables can be eliminated easily, X or Y? Time's up. Did you get it? The answer is the coefficients in front of X are 1. Coefficients in front of Y are also 1. And so either one can be eliminated easily. You can take your pick. Question 4. What number should you multiply equation 2 by to eliminate the Y variable? Time's up. The answer is, we can see that there is a 3 on the top and a 1 at the bottom. And so if we multiply the second equation by 3, they will both be 3. And last question, should you add or subtract to eliminate the Y term? Time's up. We can see that the signs are different. And when the signs are different, we add. And now you've solved the mystery of solving simultaneous equations by elimination. Well done.